It's your boy, Pastor Ron. How are you today? One of the things that I believe is the most difficult thing for me to do or to accept in my walk of faith is forgiveness. Man, it is tough to forgive certain people because you know what they did hurt. And sometimes I don't want to forgive. I want to stay mad at you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to have a conversation. So I would like to share my thoughts on forgiveness, my what has helped me. Like I would like to use this as a vehicle to help you in your walk. And I know certain things that I've experienced that I've learned through scripture that I'm learning to and I have applied to my life. I want to share with you when it comes to forgiveness. And as difficult as forgiveness may be, forgiveness is necessary. This is not optional. This is not one of the things. Christianity is not a la carte where you decide what you want to do, but this is something that every one of us Christians must learn how to do. So I want to just use this moment to help you with this difficult thing called forgiveness. So I often look at the scriptures when it comes to this, and one of the greatest examples, one of the greatest scenes of forgiveness within scripture is found when Christ was on the cross. When he was on the cross, he was being beaten and mocked and all that bad stuff. And he got to the point where he turned to God and said, God, forgive them, Father, for they know not what to do. And I think this is a good template, a good example of how to forgive. So in this example, if people are doing something wrong to Christ and he says, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. This is crucial because if you don't know what you do, then you can't ask for forgiveness. You can't give an explanation. So Christ shows that forgiveness does not depend on the other person. A lot of us are waiting to forgive because we are waiting for closure, a 5-page text message, a conversation. We are waiting for an explanation. We are waiting for them to say, I'm sorry. But you have to learn to be able to forgive without closure, forgive without an I'm sorry, forgive without an explanation or this. Let's have lunch to talk about what happened. You have to be at a place of forgiving the other person, forgiving the offender without an explanation. Because if they know not what they do, they cannot come for forgiveness. They cannot explain what they have done or saying, God, here's why I did what I did. Christ is saying, without that, I want you to forgive. And can I be honest with you? A lot of people who have hurt you will never ask for forgiveness. And despite the fact of them never asking for forgiveness, you still have to forgive them. You may never speak to them ever again. But despite that, you have a demand, you have a requirement of forgiving them. Some folks are prideful and they will never apologize. How many folks have Haitian parents that are listening right now, or West Indian parents, or just parents in general who have never done anything wrong? They have hurt you and dissed you and done all these things. They have never wrong and they will never apologize. Breaking news, cooking your favorite meal is not an apology. Buying you something that you like is not an apology. Sometimes in marriages, spouses do not like to apologize. Pastor Ron was there. I hate apologizing. I hate saying I'm sorry. I hated it. But I realized in order for my marriage to grow, I have to learn to apologize. Apologizing requiring a level of humility. Kind of low key. The reason why I don't like apologizing is because I'm concerned with the fact of them not accepting it. But if I apologize, I'd be like, nah, kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, that is really what in the past causes me not to like to apologize. Because dang, like if I gather myself and build myself up enough to actually apologize and admit wrong, because of course in your mind you never do anything wrong. You know, in a man's mind, we're perfect. It's not my fault. It's your fault, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm at a place where I ask for forgiveness and you say no, beat it, that will crush me. So for a very long time, I had a very difficult time apologizing. I would try every other way, blaming everybody else, trying to ways to circumvent that before I actually apologize. And marriage humbled me. In marriage was like, yo, that was your fault. And you had to go to her and apologize. Because what happens in relationships, especially in marriages when you live together, etc., life goes on. You know, I did something wrong and I messed up. We're still together. We're still here. We still go to sleep in the same bed for the most part, and I drive you to work and all that stuff. So it's kind of like I don't need to let's move past it, but I think an apology is needed. And just because, and that brings another point, just because I don't need you to apologize for me to forgive you does not mean as the offender that you shouldn't apologize. Like what we do is we do wrong to people, we act shady, we act messed up, and then when a person gets upset and they get mad, we have an issue with them. No. You've done me dirty and I have every right to be upset. And you can't tell me how to react to what you've done. And then when I say, let's have a talk, let us sit to a place where where I demand an apology. Like, oh, what kind of Christian are you? You should forgive me without an apology. True, I should forgive you without an apology. That does not mean I don't deserve an apology. Like what I don't like is when people do their dirt and they just come up to you like Haitians say your auntie Sue like it's nothing. They come in like I did dirty, but never sit to a place where they talk. Never sit to a place where you sit here and say, yo, I messed up. That was my bad. So just because I'm a believer, just because I've forgiven you, does not mean that I don't deserve an apology or an explanation as to why you did what you did. Because I need to know why you did what you did in order to prevent that from happening again. So yes, in the grand scheme of things, we learn through that example that forgiveness, that closure is not a prerequisite for forgiveness. We should forgive without an apology. We should forgive without an explanation. We should forgive without gaining revenge. We have to get to a place where we forgive and let go of that pain and let go of that trauma and let go of all that you're going through. It's easier to hold on, but it's much more powerful to let go. So it's crucial for us to forgive. It's crucial for us to let go. So I want to make sure that we understand that the closure that you're waiting for is not necessary, because again, some people will never come to you and apologize. Why? Because they're prideful. Why? Because some folks don't realize what they've done. In this season of this generation, as a matter of fact, of cutting people off, we cut folks off without telling them what they've done wrong. So you got a whole scenario in your head. You got whole issues with somebody, and the person don't even know what I did. They know, like, I didn't know you were mad at me. I didn't know I stepped on your toes. I don't know that I hurt you. We don't know. We're going along thinking you're cool. I've experienced that so many times. I'm sitting here looking at people and looking for folks that I think I'm cool with. Couldn't find they've done can't stand me and create a whole narrative and this is that. Like whoa. What did that happen? And you decide 3 months later to talk about it. By then, you've already blocked them. You already cut them off. You already have drawn a picture with them in your room and put devil horns. You've done all that. 3 months later, when someone not even knowing what they've done wrong. If you may have come to them in that moment and said, this is what you've done, they could have had an explanation. They could have tried to fix it or apologize. Like, yo, my bad, you're right. So a lot of time people, the closure that you're seeking, you're not going to find it. And oftentimes it's our fault because we tend to not give folks a chance to help close and fix the situation, because feeling angry and mad, it feels good. Beefing sometime with somebody, it feels good. So we tend to not pursue peace and pursue forgiveness. So I think it's crucial for us to understand the fact that we have to forgive without closure. And a lot of the reason why we are not forgiven and we can't forgive is because we are waiting for that. And the next thing I want to share with you is that forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you. You know, it allows you to be free. It allows you to be liberated from the offense and the pain of it. And, you know, and this kind of leads to my next point, is that forgiveness does not mean forget. We are not computers. We are not devices where we can sit here and clear out memory. These things are going to stay permanently. And also, that's a source of wisdom. Let me use an extreme example. If a person molests my child, right? This person is a child molester. I have to forgive them for what they've done. It would be difficult. It will take some time. It will take some prayer and fasting. But ultimately, you can forgive certain things. You must forgive all. The same way you want God to forgive you, correct? So I've forgiven them. I gotten to the point where that person did what they did and I was able to forgive. But that won't cause me to forget what he or she did. Nor should I forget. Because just because I forgive you does not mean you have access to me. I didn't forget what you did. So I'm not going to let you stay around my children. I'm not going to, if I see you around other kids as well, I am going to ring the alarm. I didn't forget what you did. It's still right here, but I chose to let go. Forgiveness does not take the offense out of your mind. It takes the offender out of your heart. It allows the person to no longer have a place in your heart. I don't hold a grudge. I can pray for you, and if God blesses you, I'm okay with it. That's an indicator of forgiveness. It does not mean we're going to be cool again, because there are certain people that you must love from a distance in order to protect yourself. That's the same example as a child molester. Just because we're cool again, and just because I've forgiven you, does not mean that we're cool again, that you're going to come in my house and watch my kids, going to be around. No, it don't mean all that. But in my heart, you're no longer there. I could pray for you and say, God, this person has an evil spirit over his life. Please set him free. And sincerely mean it. So that is what forgiveness is. Like, we have this fairy tale approach to think forgiveness means, I forgive you and all is forgotten. Nah, all is not forgotten. It's still there. And we let wisdom out the door. Like, wisdom dictates, nah, fam, we're not cool. You're not in my heart, but I got to protect myself. That may be an extreme example, but it helps show to us what forgiveness really is. It's not forgetting and pretty much not using any wisdom and allowing ourselves to sit here and just expose ourselves and be vulnerable again to get hurt. No, it's saying like, yo, all right, let me chill. Let you know, I'm not gonna hold a grudge. I don't want to fight you and beat you up, but I need to apply wisdom. So many of us are thinking that forgiveness means forgetting, and this is kind of delaying and impeding our forgiveness. We're saying, okay, I can't forgive until I forget about this. I can't forgive till I love this person again. There's people that I'm not going to like, but I have to forgive. We will not be cool again at this moment. What? Because forgiveness does not absolve what happened. Like, it's saying like, what you did hurt me, but I choose to get you out of my heart. It's not, oh yes, that was my fault. No, we often think forgiveness means taking the blame for someone else's actions. No, it is admitting that what happened hurt. But I'm making a decision to not hold it against you. I'm making a choice to say that I'm going to let this go. Is that easy? Heck no. Is it necessary? Yes. Our Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Back to the example of Christ on the cross. He sought forgiveness, even to those that at the time seemed unforgivable. Because he sat here, bro, like Christ could be like, yo, fam, I'm doing this for you. I'm on this cross for you. And you're the one mocking me? God, get me off this cross. I'm going through this for you, but you're the main one sitting throwing dirt on my name? So you have to realize that this is the burden of forgiveness. And I think all of us have to forgive somebody. My prayer is after you listen to this and you watch this video and you listen to this podcast, and it causes you to reflect as to who I have to forgive. It causes you to seek in your heart that there's some people that you need to forgive. Can I give you a bonus point? Some of y'all gotta forgive yourselves. You blame yourself for everything. The reason why my parents are divorced is my fault. The reason why I'm still in school is because I'm a failure and I'm a bad person. No, you just messed up. Or I'm a horrible person because I had a child out of wedlock. No, mistakes happen. God was aware it's going to happen, and He has a plan over your life for restoration. And He will use this as a source of testimony. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself. You're not called to be perfect. Because if you could be perfect, then why bring Christ out of heaven and onto the cross? You can't be perfect. It's all good. But it's also important for us to realize that we have to not be so hard on ourselves and forgive ourselves. This comes from a perfectionist that blames myself for everything. Oh God, the church wasn't popping today. It's my fault. Folks are back in the club. God, it's something that I've done wrong. So I'm the kind of person that I'm learning to do this as well. As a pastor, I'm so hard on myself, and I wish I could. And if anybody does anything wrong, it's my fault. If my kids are not perfect, it's my fault. My marriage does not thrive. Everything is my fault. But I'm believing, I'm also believing that God will use this season for a reason. So I gotta stop being so hard on myself and allow a level of grace for me. To give yourself some grace. See, the problem is the reason why you don't give yourself some grace, because you're so hard on everybody else and you criticize everybody else. So the same level of judgment you have on others, you have for yourself. You're not tolerant of other people's mistakes. But it's okay. People are human. Grace is needed. That's why Christ came. But at the end of the day, I need you to forgive others. Use this moment after you log off, after you turn your phone off, after you whatever, if you're in your car. Search your heart. Is there somebody that you're not forgiving? Are you mad at your dad for never being there in your life? Are you mad at your old pastor for that church hurt? Are you mad at that person that molested you and you can't seem to forgive them? Are you mad at Pastor Ron for something he did to you years ago? I think it's something that we have to reflect and do. Because once you forgive, it's such freedom. And again, it's not easy. And my door is always open because I want you to apply this to your life. And I also realize you need help doing it. It's never something you can do that's easy. If you need help, DM me on Twitter, Ron_Rubin, IG, whatever. Hit me up, man, and say, Pastor Ron, I just need prayer to forgive. I don't even know all your business. Just say, Pastor Ron, you were talking to me, and I need help to forgive. And I'll pray with you. I'll pray for you to help you get to because God knows I've been there and I'm still there. Am I 100% with this? Nah. Because some folks have hurt me. So I'm praying for the forgiveness of God to come over me so I can forgive them. Let go and let God. If you love what you heard, please make sure you subscribe, you like, you leave a comment, you share. Let's get this word out. I pray this bless you. Thank you very much for your time. Peace.